Welcome to the September 12th Grafton Board of Health meeting. Motion to open.
Motion to open?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, well, first was supposed to be the Alliance update, which,
We'll take this after. I want to get to this gentleman.
Well, should we wait a few minutes then and see if
Yeah.
somebody from the Alliance shows up?
Yeah. Is this Peter Clark?
I guess.
Do you happen to be Peter Clark?
All right, well, we might as
You
well,
might as well come on up to the table and...
no need to wait while we're sitting here twiddling thumbs for a few minutes. We have. All right. So as I'm sure you know, the Grafton Stop and Shop had sold to a minor
Yes.
back on June 27th. And as with any time this happens in town, the Board of Health always has someone from the company come in before us, see if you have any questions, if
Okay.
we have any questions.
I mean, I guess basically, what have you put in place then since this situation to prevent it from happening again?
So one of the things that Stop and Shop in our store has adopted is a quarterly sign-off. We had done one in the beginning of the year. We had a new person on the desk training. The person is no longer with us, but we did do the quarterly sign-offs. After the sting came through, we did another sign-off. Then we did one-on-one educations with anyone who would be behind the desk. Then on 9/1, the over 21, under 21 came on board, so we did an additional sign-off.
Great.
So all the people have had 2 sign-offs in the last month, and
Okay.
we'll have 2 more quarters that will have sign-offs. We have one-on-one meetings with our front-end manager, Amy, anytime someone gets promoted, and then monthly with the sign-offs, we do sit down with anybody who would be behind the desk selling cigarettes. I do want to apologize. This is not something we take lightly at the store. This is something that we think when we tell a person multiple times that it shouldn't be an issue. And myself, I'm embarrassed. I have a 7-year-old daughter and nervous about what's going to happen when she gets older and things like this. And seeing something like this, go through the cracks at the store I work in is embarrassing. And, so we've taken it pretty seriously, and we do speak to everybody, and we do make sure that they're aware of anything that's happening, any changes, whether it's tobacco or something else. We are waiting for additional signage to put at the desk. I know we had the flip charts and some other things before. We have made a couple signs downstairs, and we made a couple signs upstairs. I make it a point with any of the managers, me, Bill, or Alex, when we go downstairs. We've been doing this daily, we're just reminding everybody it's 21 now. You gotta check anybody who's under 40. So we've been doing that also.
Yeah, because if someone lives in a different town but works in Grafton, they
Correct.
may not even
May
think
not,
about the
right.
fact, if the state ends up passing it, then obviously
Right.
everyone gets used to it.
Peter, just quickly, you mentioned a couple of times, and you repeated a sign-off. What exactly, could you just kind of step us through that?
Yep, so we have different, it's a union shop.
Yeah.
So we're allowed to do certain things.
Yep.
We are allowed to do a tobacco sign-off and a couple other sign-offs with the company. This year, Stop and Shop's gotten a little more serious. It used to be, as they were hired, they'd have a sign-off.
A training of some sort?
Yeah, so it's a verbal training.
That's what I figured, but I just didn't know, so
Yeah,
that people,
like a
so that they
policy
understand.
or something.
There's some one-on-one training that happens, right?
It's a one-on-one training.
Right.
And then a refresher every quarter of the year now.
Okay.
Before, it used to be just as you were hired. So if you were with the company for 10 years, you would have only had that one opportunity.
Okay.
Right.
Now we speak to any person who's with us 4 times a year.
Yep,
And then if there's any changes, we speak to them additionally.
right.
Yep.
Okay. Well, you certainly, I think if I've been on, I don't know, 3 or 4 years, I haven't seen you, I haven't seen Stop and Shop. I think you do a very good job. So to be commended, I appreciate your attentiveness and your personal and professional, concern, and, you say the word embarrassment, but it happens a lot. Tell me, what is this, do you find that you do have to turn some people away? Is that because then it becomes known, oh, you can buy at a certain place.
Right.
Do you find that you do have, people presenting that are underage, that it's often, okay.
I wouldn't say it's often, and there's been an incredible decline in people buying cigarettes at grocery stores.
Okay.
I'm assuming they're going to gas stations or mom and pops and
Right.
things like that, only because of the amount of times that we do ask. And, Western Union or money orders, you have to have an ID for everything, and we've got like 5 steps for everything. They don't want to deal with that.
Right,
So,
okay,
yeah, it's an incredible decline at the stores now.
okay, good.
good and bad.
Well, yeah,
Yeah, true.
yeah, bad for revenue. Right. Anything else,
Phil, do you
anyone?
have any?
Do you have any questions for us?
In Worcester, I worked probably about 10 years ago. There used to be different workshops or something like that available to the stores. Is there something like that out there now, besides just the paperwork that comes to the stores?
Nancy, do you know of any? I'm not sure if there's anything still out.
I know, I'm not sure, I do recall what you're saying, you know, that whole tobacco control initiative and alliance, I think it's 26 communities. Their funding has been incrementally decreased.
Gotcha.
I'm not sure if the workshops are one of them, but we could find that out, huh, Nancy? We could,
Yeah.
and let you know.
Sure.
Yeah. Sometimes it could even be an online, it might be even something
Yeah,
online
we're
that you could.
very
yeah.
receptive. If there's something else additionally we could do, that'd be great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good, all right. No, has your full attention, first of all, we appreciate you being here.
Yes.
Yes,
And,
thank you
and
very
that,
much.
you know, obviously you're taking it seriously, and that's it, you know, a lot of it is just, the measure of our success as a board is how well we work with the
Okay.
business owners. So that has your full attention, you do understand, there's a little bit of a timely disconnect, this was back in June, I think, wasn't it?
It
Yeah,
was
about
at the
a
end
month
of
or so
June.
ago.
Yeah, sometimes, so
Yeah, I think-
typically we'd have you in here sooner. I don't even know if that individual still work, I don't even know what their policy is, but in fact, it's more about, really, it's about education. That's what we're trying to, you know, make sure that your staff understands the importance and why. It isn't just a hoop to jump through, there's the importance of, hey, listen, you know what, the success of, you know, tobacco, it's prevention, right?
No, I agree 100%.
That's really what, if you can prevent it, that's what we're looking to do.
Speaking of that, are you having many issues with the 21?
Not yet.
No, so you haven't
Not
heard a
yet.
whole lot yet.
I have been asking the other stores in our area, not
Yeah.
everybody's gone 21. It's great that
Yeah.
Worcester has gone 21, because that's an enormous area. But some of the other Stop and Shops, their towns haven't gone through, so we're talking back and forth to see what's happening.
Right.
And like you said, I hope, for us, I hope the state does pass it, then everything's 21 and it
It's
makes it
just
easier.
easier
Yes, it's
when
easier
it's
when
across,
everybody-
yeah.
Yep.
All right,
Well, there's no fine of any kind.
It's already been
It's
taken
already-
care of,
yeah.
already settled.
All good to
Yep.
go as far as anything to be
Great.
here, that's
Yeah.
been
Yeah.
taken care of, so there's no, just appreciate you being here.
yes.
Okay,
And we have this
Thank you.
Thank
conversation.
you.
am I all set?
Thanks for
Yeah,
being here.
well said.
Much
Thank you very
appreciated.
much.
You're welcome, enjoy your day.
Thanks.
Six oh eight.
Well, I guess we can certainly look at our, doesn't look like anyone from the Alliance is going to show up tonight. So I guess we can look at the paper monthly report we have. I see the marijuana ordinance, they have drafted marijuana regs. They keep telling us that they are going to provide us with those drafts. We still have not seen them, even though I ask for them every meeting.
Nancy, I could just ask, so we start ramping up as far as influenza doses, things of that nature, is those conversations starting to come
Oh, yes.
forward? There's a little bit here on the nursing, talking about
We've
that.
ordered it. Pat has received the state, and Dawn and I ordered the ones that we need to purchase, and we haven't received it yet.
Do we, it says 330 doses, do we need to start building that schedule now? I mean, it's only early September, but do we need
We're
to start?
actually cutting back on that 330. It's really going to be 230.
So there'll be 230 doses, okay? And do we have to, is it
Children.
too soon to start building the schedule?
Yes.
It is,
We
okay,
want to make sure we have it.
okay.
Yeah.
When do you think, so that people understand, when do you think we would have it? Could they look on the website, or they could look on our,
They can call the office anytime. I would say October,
it would be in October, okay.
mid-October.
Yeah, because I know like CVS
They have.
We have it. We got it back in August, I think, at the mini clinic on site at corporate. But I know even for that, the stores and mini clinics outside of corporate were gonna be later, because that was a private purchase for the corporate office.
Yeah, typically flu season, they say is October 1st. They basically say October 1st through March 31st
And
is.
back in the day, you never used to get them that quickly.
If we had it out before Thanksgiving, it would be a victory.
Right.
Yeah,
I
no
never
question.
remember sitting there going, oh, it's September.
Right, never, yeah, no question about it.
August.
Right,
Yeah.
okay.
I noticed we got double the dose of all the rest of them that's in this group.
And that's gonna be downwardly adjusted to
Yeah.
Yeah.
230,
But still will be high.
but still very
Yeah.
much so, but.
Are we getting any of the pediatric mist, or the not pediatric only mist, but any of the mist that's been controversial lately about not working?
Yeah, the nasal.
Yeah, the nasal.
Nasal mist?
Pat.
Because I know now, I thought they were saying
recommended.
you're not supposed to give that.
Right, that's the
Right,
newest
it's ineffective,
recommendation.
yeah.
Yeah. And I know they're definitely doing quadrivalent and trivalent this year, because I got
Correct.
quadrivalent
We're
already.
getting, yeah, we're getting quadrivalent.
All right, and then,
Can I just ask on this, when, they just got emailed to us, did it?
No,
Yes.
This was emailed, was it Friday?
Yeah, I was gonna say, it was probably the end of the week last week we got this.
Okay. And that's when we found out that no one was gonna be here from the Alliance?
No.
I didn't see it.
I had emailed Phil on something, asking him to bring me, I forgot what it was. He said that he has a funeral this weekend, and see you Monday.
and then
I haven't
Karen,
heard
Seeing,
from anyone
seeing
today.
Monday, meaning today?
Today, this was emailed to me today.
That's what I'm saying, okay, so when do we know that they're not coming tonight? We knew Karen's been out, right?
yeah,
Karen's on vacation.
Understood.
Karen told me last week that neither, when I first asked for at least Karen and Phil to show up, Karen wrote back saying she was on vacation, and then Zach also already had a prior meeting he had to go to. I forgot exactly what day last week,
Right,
but at the time, we didn't know no one was going to attend.
okay.
So I see that we've had 10 routine food inspections. Do you know if she's pretty much up to date?
She's very much
Up to date, okay. And I guess we can't ask a whole lot about anything if she's not here.
I understand that their scheduling, things do happen.
Yes.
But I'm gonna tell you this, there's quite a big staff. We bought a program here, and there's a big staff. There's an understanding, I have to tell you, that this is a symptom of a much larger, not that they're here, not here tonight, and I appreciate the report, that's important, but this is a symptom of a much larger and ongoing issue, okay? In my opinion, just, this isn't the typical public service program. In my opinion, this is a business relationship. They're the vendor, and we are the customer. And over time, whether it is in reporting of this stuff, tobacco control, it took us 2.5 months just to get office hours. Or I have a concern that happened over Labor Day weekend that really, we won't go into the specifics, but it's after our emergency response. It just seems to continually be, now with 3+ years into this, and we're still having a difficult time. They're asking for, maybe we could have a meeting, and I responded an email back that said, the expectations were set 3 years ago, and we have proven that this model works. The only difference has been, there's been a change in leadership and personnel at the Alliance, and I will tell you that I, for one, have lost confidence in the Alliance. And I would like to make a motion that we start, and I understand Richard's not here, but I would like to start looking in a different direction. At least exploring that, in fact, let the selectman and the town administrator know that I think it has reached the level, customer service-wise and protection of the community. I don't have the confidence in the leadership at the Alliance. I would like to, I'm not saying we're going to sever that, and I say can't be repaired with meeting. I would like to see what alternative programs and services are out there, because I can tell you, we're not the only community that has, that is less than satisfied with the Alliance. I've started those discussions, I just informally, just asking, gee, how's it going? So I'm going to make a motion that we start looking at potentially other service providers for our public health capacity.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 To begin the discussion. Now, they're not here, and it's really unfair to go too far into it, but I would say this. This is not an overreaction to what has happened over Labor Day weekend with an emergency response that is still being worked on. And perhaps we can't discuss this. I'll yield to the chair on that. But it is a symptom of an ongoing concern. And we have proven that this model works, in my opinion. I don't know, Deb, where you are on this, or Phil, or Richard. In my opinion, it wasn't perfect, but I think the model does work, the service delivery model. It's really the way things are going. With the people in place, it has not. It has not. And there's been, over the past, where are we now? I would say in the past 6 months, there has been a downward decline. And we were fortunate, I would say this, for the personnel that we had in place. Nancy, the staff that you would almost commend them, and with Mike, and I'm blanking on the first page, but even Adrian, we were fortunate, and I think it showed that it did work. I don't see. I think it's worth, and not in a threatening way, but this is. I look at this as a business arrangement. We are a customer, and they are the vendor. It just happens to be another municipality that is the vendor. The expectations are clear. They haven't changed or shifted. In my opinion, they haven't. They're not meeting our expectations. And what's at risk? I saw it loud and clear. Is I think the community.
Patient safety.
Don't you? I do. Can we improve upon that? I don't know. Is it with them? Is it with another? And maybe it's a hybrid of some sort. I think it's incumbent upon us to at least explore those. I don't know. I'd like to get your thoughts on. I don't know what you.
Yeah,
What,
we
do you
have to
think?
look at the public safety.
Yeah.
Do you think it's? Yeah. Okay.
The services we've been provided with lately certainly do not meet our expectations.
What we talked about 3 years ago is not what's being delivered, in my opinion.
And the example, without going into a lot of detail, with Labor Day weekend,
Yep.
that was one of my biggest sticking points, was knowing what we dealt with that Christmas morning and random other calls at all sorts of hours and stuff, was this is going to include after-hours coverage. Yes, 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 yes,
And that there
yes.
would be professionals that would be able to handle the situation so that one of us would not have to go out
And-
on a call at off hours.
I'm glad to do. I was able to. I don't.
But it wasn't.
It's not my
wasn't
place to do that.
expectation, right.
It's not my place to do that. And then
That's why
the
we
follow-up
have the
piece.
Alliance. They're the ones that should be going out and taking care of and handling these issues.
Yep.
And like you said, after, when things were still slowly progressing, after that, there should have been this, and the next step, and
Yeah.
the next step, and the next step, and here we are
10 days later.
with
Yeah.
none of those additional steps, to my knowledge,
Okay.
really
Well,
moving along.
Can I be part of that, to say, part of that maybe motion would be that unless the chair, unless you want to reach out to some other, what I think are potential opportunities?
That's fine.
Okay.
Anyone,
And I'll just report back to,
Yeah.
back to the group of what, okay.
that's fine, yeah.
All right. Sure. All right.
Okay, well, we still got a little time before Dr.
Let's
Anwar.
start discussion then.
Yep, all right. Do we want to finally amend the supplemental regulations, since Richard's not here this month?
I know this. Oh, no, what did he send in on? He sent in on.
with that.
That was Oh, yeah, that was on something else.
Did he send
Yeah.
in with this?
I mean, he wanted this.
He will be here in September,
Okay,
October.
so
I'm
let's
sorry.
just defer it till
All right.
October.
He will. He said he would be here. Yeah. Okay.
I won't be.
You won't be. You okay with us doing it with the?
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
I think I'm okay.
Okay.
I think I would have put up stink by now if I wasn't.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
I would have said, no, you have to
All
discuss
right.
this now.
Okay.
I don't want to wait. Yeah, I have no issues with that.
Got it.
Alrighty. So this was to nominate Don, the Greater Grafton MRC Director, to represent the town of Grafton at the FEP Steering Committee meetings, and Phil Leisures, Chief of Environmental Health and Response at the Alliance, as an alternate. And so then, this was just the letter saying to Colleen at City of Worcester, Dear Ms. Boland, the Board of Health voted at its regularly scheduled meeting tonight to nominate Ms. Dawn Farmer to represent us at the FEP steering committee meetings, and then also voted to nominate Mr. Phil Leisure as the alternate should Ms. Farmer not be able to attend. We all good with that?
Does that need a motion?
Yes.
Are you making, you can't, is it? I make a motion that we nominate Dawn Farmer to represent the town of Grafton at the FEP's steering committee meetings, and then Phil would be the alternate.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, I will sign it. Alrighty. All right, so the next was mosquito control. We had talked in the June meeting about Tim, and then Tim from the mosquito control program had come forth and kind of given us a review, you know, and a little, not a presentation as such, but we discussed the mosquito program again now where you've got Zika, you still have West Nile, Triple E, and just the concerns. I know that Tim McInerney had been concerned, should we bring this up again for the warrant? Not necessarily us, Board of Health, but the town, even if it's the Board of Selectmen, someone, you know, to bring it back up again, to say, you know, the concerns are back. We've had, you know, the mosquito positive. There's a lot of other positive mosquitoes around. Thankfully, no human cases right around here. That combined with Zika, should we look at this again from a town standpoint at least? And then I know we had discussed education, definitely, that we wanted the Alliance to provide education at, say, the night out and
Right.
that type of thing. We hadn't, and Tim had contacted me to see if the board had a recommendation, should we, you know, what's our position on this? And unfortunately, at the June meeting, we didn't really have a position, yes, go forth, we're all for it, or no, we're not really for it this time. So I said, well, we're meeting again, this was like a couple weeks ago, yeah, so I said, we're meeting again, I'll put it back on the agenda to see, okay, do we at least recommend the town look into it a little further, see if they can place it on the warrant for the October meeting, or are we just gonna say, no, we don't think so this time?
Right.
Mosquitoes this year don't seem to be anywhere near as bad as they used to be. I don't know if it's because lack of
Moisture.
moisture, rain.
And I mean, by the time you put it on, even if it was the October warrant, if you're lucky, it wouldn't really come into play until post-mosquito season. It would be more so for getting it going for the following year.
See, my recollection is that there was gonna be some community education. That was the big piece
Right.
that came
Yes.
up, right?
The Alliance was gonna
Last
help
week,
with community education.
It was gonna be, they'll scroll it. Nancy, have we had things come out? Has it been community education?
Not that I'm aware of. I have a lot on our
Our
website.
website, right?
I don't know if anyone has gone to the farmer's market, concert on the common,
me see.
the movies in the park. I don't
I
know.
pinged, hold on, there it is, the Alliance, because I had the question about it. And it was actually timely, because that was the same day that you discovered we hadn't looked at the June meeting minutes, which was
Yeah.
when we had talked about it, so it was perfect timing. And I had asked, you know, did we get the education we were talking about? And Phil had responded, I believe so, for the website.
Is it on our website?
I've had things on the website, yes.
Anything, did the Alliance provide, or there was supposed to, it seemed to me there was we didn't see a video, but he referenced he had some material that we were gonna get. I don't know if we ever got that or not.
Yeah, that,
I don't know.
Video.
And then,
Did we get any brochures from the mosquito control?
No.
and I know Karen Clark responded when I pushed to say, you know, well, what about all these other avenues beyond just the website? That was the answer. And she said that the staff, WDPH staff and summer interns, tabled at the farmer's market every Wednesday in July, 2 movie night dates and the National Night Out with other public health topics also, but provide info on Triple E and West Nile and mosquito safety. And it sounded like, from what Tim said, he was also doing some education more about the mosquito control program, not necessarily about just West Nile, Tripoli, Zika type of situation.
Yep. Okay, well. Probably need to hear, to hear more, maybe from Tim or the Alliance, I don't know. What do you wanna do with it?
Can't do a whole lot with the Alliance, they're not here.
No, I know.
Yeah.
What do you wanna do with that?
Yeah, I mean, do we really feel comfortable at this point making a
Go.
recommendation to go forth with the warrant? Whoever is gonna do said warrant in town? I think Tim was gonna put a placeholder.
Yeah.
I'd say I don't think it's worth
I
it
don't-
now,
I
because
don't either.
after what we had gone through, and we provided a lot of education,
Yeah.
and we got turned down for the October town meeting, was it 2 years ago, maybe?
Yeah.
Last year, 2 years ago? And we have provided education, we had, all kinds of meetings, and we haven't even started anything now, so I'm not sure we'd be able to get that vote.
Right.
So is it just something that we think about then for the Springtown meeting
Yeah.
and try to push it? I know this is the good time to do it when there is mosquitoes out there, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's on people's
When it's
minds.
on people's mind,
Yeah.
when the spring rolls around, they're not thinking mosquitoes.
But there's almost a
But
grassroots.
maybe with the Zika around, they may, because the Zika I think is gonna be around for a while.
Yeah.
So they may in the spring,
Okay.
they may decide to.
Yeah.
All right, so let's do that. Can we, that's a great suggestion. It would be more towards the spring. We'll go hold on this warrant, and we'd look for it in the spring. So we probably should start that conversation
Early, yeah.
March, February, March?
Yeah.
March?
Because the
Yeah,
May town meeting, you've
May.
got to give
have
time for the
everything by,
warrant
yeah,
articles
by the
being-
beginning of April, yeah,
Right.
usually a month in
Yeah.
advance.
Yeah, so, okay,
So
so end of
actually, we
February,
probably
beginning of
couldn't
March.
even get in. I don't know if we could even
He
get
had
onto
put a
the.
placeholder.
Oh, you did have a place. No, no, I'm saying for the October
Well,
warrant.
he
I'm not
said
sure
he
it
had
was-
a-
I think it's still open.
Okay.
Yeah, he had put a placeholder knowing that we were gonna discuss in
Okay.
case.
I don't think we have enough time to provide the appropriate education
Yeah,
And-
for it to pass.
yeah, it does take that. Okay.
Did we get many calls on mosquitoes this year?
Yes, like what does Grafton do? Do we
People-
spray?
Were people asking?
Yes.
Yeah, I've had neighbors ask each year, and I said, go get it on the warrant. That's the best way if you wanna get it from the citizen side.
Right.
You know, and also, we really do need to provide the appropriate, education, because I just saw education out there, or people against, spraying for mosquitoes for Zika, and it showed dead bees.
Oh, it actually did happen in the
So,
Carolinas.
right, so we need to make sure that when we do provide the education about the spraying,
What
that
it
we're
is.
providing the appropriate education.
what chemical
and-
do they
Right, what they
use?
use and that it, yes,
'Cause, yeah, in the Carolinas, there was a
right,
big problem.
there was a
Okay.
problems
We've
with some
We've had
bees.
so much,
I mentioned that to Tim.
didn't have hardly any water or rain this year too, so that helped us really.
Helped us with the mosquitoes, yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
So,
Okay, so we'll hold off.
hold off
We'll
until
put
the
off for
spring, I think.
Whatever,
Right.
6 months, yeah.
all right. At this point, do we even discuss after hours? I mean, we can, in a general,
Yeah, in a general way,
Fashion.
let me tell you what happened on Saturday, so this is after hours,
Yeah.
issues, complaint. I received a call on the Saturday of Labor Day weekend, without going into specifics of it or how that's rolled forward, but, so everyone understands, my impression was that the Alliance responded, it was actually the police had called dispatch and said they needed help, they wanted a response. So there's a police officer gone in to, and it was a housing, it was a Chapter 2 issue, hoarding, and when he came out, he said, it's the worst case he'd ever seen. He got Bob Berger, the building official. Bob was trying to get some help, was getting no assistance. He called me, I happened to be at home, and I responded. My impression of when we negotiated this, and that was one of the things that we talked about for after hours, was that they would respond. Now, if you rewind back to the Alliance, there were a number. It was Chris Monteverdi, there was Seth, there was Derek, right in town in Worcester. They don't have that capacity anymore, but that should not be a concern to us. The message back, They
We
didn't-
paid for
they-
that service
They didn't
back.
respond, yeah, they didn't respond. So, I think that's an important piece, after hours is it, but it doesn't happen that often, we don't, and this wasn't 1 in the morning, I mean, it was, this was 1 in the afternoon. So, when we talk about that, it is an important part of being able to respond quickly, and for a public safety agency, the Grafton Police, to ask for assistance, and they actually spoke to someone. It wasn't, they didn't get anyone on Labor Day, they got someone and they didn't respond. I'm just letting you know. That leads to why I made a motion earlier. And it's not an overreaction to just that. This has been in my opinion, an ongoing, eroding of services. And it's incumbent upon us. I look at public health services, we're the recipient of their service, not unlike whether it's IT or plowing or food service or what otherwise. We're buying services, So, that was the after hours, and they did not respond. So, be that what it may,
And I haven't gotten an update
yeah.
since late last week.
Yeah, well, that's hopefully still going on, it's, again.
So then that's the other question is if it's a health issue, why isn't the Board of Health even involved?
Yeah.
I mean, why weren't we updated on,
Yeah.
right away?
Or similar to like the whole Upton thing that you had.
They handle it in 3 days. Handle it in 3 days. I can't for the life of me, but, so, that's the after-hours piece. I don't, unless, does anyone else have different, say, oh, no, we only call them in, it's really what's been the expectation when we had our own. I remember that being because previous Inspector Lois being able to respond in a timely manner. That was, each of us had talked about that. Well, what about if there was
Right.
a fire?
And I
How would
had,
that
I
work?
had actually several similar situations
Okay.
where they tried Lois and she was unable to respond. So I have to tell you, I've personally gone out at least 3 times to different situations.
Yeah.
But
Gone
I've been
once.
I had been in contact with Lois, she told me what to do,
Yeah.
who to contact, and she followed up first thing the following morning.
And-
So there was definitely immediate follow-up.
That's a very important point, is if this could have been a seamless handoff, I would have felt better, but there just hasn't been that. So, not only in their initial response, but as it continues, so that's unfortunate. And again, maybe not that it's an excuse, but the individuals that are in place now were not there. So if that hasn't been communicated on their end, I don't know. But I said, geez, I'm not sure what a meeting would entail.
Yeah.
It's the same thing as, look at the memorandum of understanding. We have an agreement. We have a contract. So, that's it, without any details.
Okay. Bills? Make a motion to pay the bills.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'm wondering if
I know.
Dr. Anwar is downstairs.
We said conference room, have second
You
floor.
did tell him F, okay. I know I did not tell him F, but I did. He did confirm that
Second.
he was coming with, okay.
Not today.
No, but last week he confirmed on Thursday with me that he would be here. So bills, we have Holden Landmark, MHOA, MHOA, Moore Medical, WB
Aye.
Mason, WB Mason, and Verizon Wireless. Sign in.
Yeah.
You can just sign in and then have a seat up front would be great.
It took us a while to sign here.
I was
Not in
thinking
our
that, I'm
usual
now, I'm not
home.
sure if you, were you,
Force of habit, I was downstairs, we were downstairs.
Bills. Money.
Root of all evil.
Send it my way, Phil, will you? I don't want you to be cool.
That was the shop's containers. Community Nursing
Yeah.
Association is paying for that.
Did you hear that? Community Nursing Association is gonna pay for the shop's container.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yep.
Thank you, community nurses.
Thank you.
Okay.
No,
Welcome. I asked that Dr. Anwar come tonight so that we could talk about the Tufts IBC Community Rep with Shirley Russo's resignation from Tufts IBC. She was our community rep. She has since retired, so they are looking for a new community rep to replace her. My understanding is the Board of Selectmen appoints the rep. And there had only been one candidate that showed some interest. So we were trying to see if we could spur up a little bit more interest. According to what they say, that the rep cannot have any ties to Tufts. It should be somebody that represents the interests of the community with respect to environment and public health. Shirley Russo did have a, I want to say a PhD.
Yes,
Dr. Cedarberg also has a PhD. So my concern was the current person that was interested did not seem to have a whole lot of medical science, his background.
Sure.
So I was a little concerned, so I asked if you guys could come talk to us.
We are here.
So my understanding, so I guess I want to backtrack and say, how did it first get advertised? Do you know?
I thought that the town had advertised it. Please understand, it's really towns
Right, yes,
thing. And towns sometimes say, hey, if you find somebody, know somebody, let us know.
okay.
So I don't know for sure whether the town has advertised it, or maybe they put something on the town website or
They,
something.
yeah, they may have put something on the website, and that's why I asked you, because I did not see anything in the local newspaper. There may have been something on the town website, but the Grafton News, which tends to be the local newspaper where you see some things like that, I do not recall seeing anything in there. That's why I had asked you. Did anyone else ever see anything?
I never did.
Asking
but I
for-
wasn't
Yeah, I
looking, so.
wasn't looking
No, you
until
weren't
you were
looking, but-
asking, which the paper would have been long gone probably by then.
Yeah.
The recycle.
So that's what we had. So since then, I have asked if we could kind of advertise again and see if somebody else was out there interested. I do not know the woman that showed interest. I don't know anything about her. She could be a very lovely candidate. I just had concerns looking at her resume that maybe we should try to find somebody, especially where they're representing the town of Grafton at the Tufts IBC. I feel it needs to be somebody that we feel will best represent the town's interests. So,
Yeah, no, we have to make sure there's transferable skills there. We have to make sure that in fact they understand it and they're representing the other town's best interests, so.
right.
Sure, yep. Okay.
Nancy, have you heard of anybody lately that has voiced any interest?
No, Dawn had sent it out through the mass response.
Yep,
No one.
no one yet. Thoughts of how to? It has to be a Grafton resident, right?
That's according to your bylaws.
According to our bylaws, right, has to be a Grafton resident,
Right,
which is what I think we would want.
right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you remember seeing the resume of the person that was interested?
I saw your response to it. It said, geez, I'm just not sure it matches this, her skill set.
No, I'm not sure it matches what we would really want for somebody that's gonna represent our town. Having been back in the beginning when we started all of this years ago and all that we went through and,
I just know from when I was on the IBC and
Yeah.
some of the research, I mean, I have the bachelor's in biology, microbiology, the public health masters. So for me, it was like, oh, this is second nature, not a big deal. But yeah, I could imagine someone who has no science background, just,
May I say something to
Yeah,
you?
sure.
You know, if you look at the NIH guideline.
Yep.
Okay, and the whole intent of having a community member was really not to have a scientist, but somebody who has a general understanding of the environment, the town's people's interest in mind, okay? And even they give example like, it could be a real estate agent. For example, they even say that in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, the idea is that somebody who may not understand science as much, but can still raise the question, hey, is this the right way to do it? Okay, explain it to me, so I can understand how you're doing it. I think that was the intent of NIH. Bring somebody from the community who doesn't understand the jargon, but the committee should be able to explain to them, this is the reason we do it this way, and this is the reason we want to do it the other way.
Right.
So a little bit background about this person. Because we have been looking for that, town asked us to find somebody. We tried couple, and then it didn't work out because I forgot to think about the connection to Tufts.
Yeah, I can't have, right, so if you're finding somebody
Anybody I
that it's
know
gonna
that
have,
has
right.
connection is no good, so take that out. And so we also asked our biosafety officers to look for somebody you know. At one point, we had one of the ministers from one of the local churches. Talked to them, were almost ready, and then she left the town. Okay, couldn't satisfy the other criteria.
Right.
And then one of our biosafety officer mentioned to me that Ms. Tufts moved into Grafton and she's interested. I said, fine, I will talk to her. So I talked to her and explained to this that, and first thing she said, look, I don't have any science background.
Okay.
What do you want me for? Okay, that's when I explained that what we really need this person to do is come to the meeting, listen to what we're saying, and then ask those hard questions about the community itself, okay, without knowing the science. Just ask the question, is it safe for the town? Is it safe for the people who work there? Okay, and then we try to explain. One of the things NIH really wants us to do, us the scientists, is can you explain your science to a person who doesn't have the science background? And that is very important for us, and we are learning this, okay? We talk to each other and we think,
Right.
you know, and having a member who may not be as much involved in science is probably a good thing for the committee if the person takes the interest and asks the tough questions.
Right.
So that was the reason. So I talked to her about that. I said, can you ask tough question? Can you say, you know, that I don't understand this. Explain it to me, how you're doing it. And I had probably about 10-minute conversation with her, and I felt that this could be a person who could do that. So then I recommended that she apply.
Would she be available for those meetings that are on, during the daytime? Because,
Yes,
right, your
she
meetings
said
are
she-
once a month during the day.
It's a once a month, last Friday of each
Friday.
month. Yes, it's about 1:30 to 3:30 in the afternoon. They don't have to attend all the meetings, but, you know,
Right.
most of the meetings, because
Sure.
things happen, you know, people
Right.
can't.
You know, I get your point, you know, they don't have to be subject matter experts, but they do need to understand community, the environment.
Yes.
They need to understand, you know, how it impacts maybe on animals, how it impacts on the employees, the overall, does it enhance or in any way degrade the quality of life here in town? All of those things. So you do need someone, maybe not be able to speak, you know, with profound background on the science part of it, but they do need to understand kind of the community and be able to ask those questions. So I think to their point, I'm glad they brought this up. There are some transferable skills that you do have to have, and you know, I think, I don't know the subjects that get all the. I've never been to a meeting, but I would have to think it would be helpful to have a public health background.
Yes, that's why we tried to get PhDs in there. Look, Andy Sitterberg, he has a PhD in physics,
Yep.
not biology.
Right.
But he can ask those questions, you know, he raises the question. And I told, excuse me if I say you, Debbie,
Debbie, yeah.
that it's up to the town what kind of person they
Right.
want to represent the town.
Right.
We have been trying, this is the last one we saw, we said, all right, we'll present it to the town and see what town has to say.
Right.
I have no vested interest in who the town selects, because we are,
I so appreciate that. Yeah, no, that's
No.
sincere. I get that. Yeah, no, it's
so, you
nice.
know, we're trying to help out town in that sense, okay? I did take the time to talk to the person, see, from
Yeah.
my perspective, I thought this could be a okay person,
Right.
but town can decide. You can take a time to find if there's somebody else who's interested, then maybe somebody will show up. Yes, it's all open, it's fine to me.
No, I so appreciate, this is helpful just for me
Right,
to have
I'm
this
not here
conversation. It
to-
is.
And ultimately, it's the Board of Selectmen that
Right.
make the appointment.
Right,
They had asked for our recommendation, so that's kind of how we
Yeah,
started the
right.
conversation. Only having been back when we were writing up the regs and when everything was beginning at Tufts, knowing how the townspeople felt
yeah.
about Tufts coming in.
In that also, I don't know, Lois isn't obviously here, she sat through this,
Right,
you know? And if I may say, at the end, she basically told me that your committee is so tough. Even against each other so tough. I don't know what we can do, you know? And that's because the scientists, once they start, you know, taking things apart, they can be very hard on each other and
Yeah.
saying,
Yeah.
but anyway, that's
It's-
again,
Yeah.
you know, that's the way
Let me
committees.
just, I so appreciate, is there a talent pool of retired, I'm thinking maybe retired individuals with a historical background? I mean, it's good to have a little bit of a historical background of how Tufts came about. I think that's helpful. Is there an opportunity there at the senior center and with retired groups?
you know, I'm thinking, yeah, are there some, a retired teacher out there, you know, a retired science teacher or something? I know I already threw out a few names to you, people that I thought maybe potential,
Yeah,
interest,
during the day, it's
you know,
usually
so,
so full.
it
and
is,
only
it's
one
all,
day,
it's,
but
right,
still-
but it's still
Yeah.
during the day.
That was one of my requests to Shirley. Shirley said, before you retire, can you find somebody?
Yeah.
Because she has a lot of connection, you know?
Sure,
Right.
sure.
And unfortunately, she was not able to come up
Right.
with one, but
I'll send something down to the senior center.
Yeah.
Yeah, doesn't
Senior
hurt.
center,
Just
yeah.
someone who, you know, recently retired, like you said, that has a long time Grafton resident who has a historical perspective, but also has some time to be able to.
Could you also send something to Seal Thurber at the school? Maybe she knows some retired teachers,
Yeah.
retired nurses, somebody out there that may be interested.
Sure.
Now, if this gets delayed, does that cause any issues?
it has already caused trouble.
Right, because
so-
it's already been months and
But
months.
again, you know, it's your bylaw we're trying to follow.
Right.
So help us out. We are technically in violation of that particular aspect of the
Of our
bylaw.
Well, tell me
So
this,
we're holding you.
do we need an interim, do we need
Yeah.
someone interim?
No,
No?
no, not for us, if for the sake of
Our-
town,
our-
you need
Our
somebody.
bylaw,
Our
our
bylaw.
bylaws, the town
I
of
know, I
Grafton,
know,
our
but
bylaws say
do
that
we-
we'll have 2 community reps.
Let's see what we hear.
Yeah.
Let's see what we hear. You know, I'm trying to think if I can help out a little bit. I know.
I know, I'm thinking,
Richard, I
yeah.
know, just, could one of us
So at
to
least
live for a
this
couple
way,
months?
there'll be a renewed interest in finding somebody.
Well, you know what it is, and I didn't realize that, I haven't seen a whole lot out there advertising for it, and then all of a sudden, when I saw this one name, that's when I said, well, how much advertising had been done?
I couldn't tell again.
Do you,
because
when
it's the
is your
town.
next meet, oh, because the Board of Selectmen have to appoint before
We
they can
meet
attend
every,
it.
the
The
last
fourth-
Friday of every month.
The last Friday of every month, okay.
Okay.
All
And,
right.
oh, there is no meeting for the September because September we do the open house.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
In
right.
the open house, we have a booth to advertise for IBC. As a matter of fact.
Oh,
you
it's
may-
coming up, it's on the 18th.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, if you want, you can do that, and if you want, I'll give a page that, written by Shirley Russo about what this is.
Okay,
And we really hand this out to people who are visiting us.
Yes.
At the booth. And she has written it in a layman's term, you know, it's really nice.
So Shirley wrote this out about
Shirley
her,
wrote this
about,
out. It said it's written by her and explains what IBC is all about, you know. And we liked it so much, we hand it out every year at the open house.
so this is awesome. So you'll be passing this out is it next weekend?
It's,
Yeah, next Sunday. So maybe you'll find somebody on next Sunday that's interested.
And if anybody is interested, I am at the booth. They can ask me questions, you know,
All right.
in
I'll-
addition to this, you know.
Yeah.
Checking out the new small animal. So that
Maybe,
was-
and that will get somebody's attention and, you know, will be
Yeah.
interested.
Okay.
Put a note, looking for a Grafton IBC member.
Yeah.
Right. Any other questions or?
Maybe it's intimidating to people, you know, to serve on that. I'd be sued, she's not sure, tough, oh, I don't have that kind of science background. You know, it's really not what they're looking for.
No,
Yeah.
no, it's not.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna
Public
send it
health
out.
concerns,
We'll send it
yeah.
out to our senior, and, that's always a great day, that,
Yeah.
you're
It-
saying.
Only thing is that however way it turns out, I kind of feel obligated to talk to this person, but I don't want to talk to Ms.
Well,
Tufts
I
before
don't-
anything happens, to just let her know. So I don't know, that's why I asked the question.
Right, so I don't
So maybe we
wanna,
can
I don't
wait.
wanna say, tell her no when you're not, because,
Yeah, we
because
don't-
it's not the Board of Health that makes that decision, it's the Board of Selectmen.
Yeah, but-
So I've been in touch with Jennifer Thomas, the Chair of the Board of Selectmen, and they were just deferring it till another meeting.
Okay.
So it's really, I told her I would get back to her after this meeting to let her know our thoughts.
It's
And I'm
fine.
just gonna tell her our thoughts is we'd really like to see if there's some other
Yeah,
interest
okay.
out there.
Which is fine with me, I'm sure she's
So
going to
did
come to
she,
the open
I
house.
guess, did she contact you, or did she contact the Board of Selectmen? She contacted you?
I contacted her.
You contacted her.
Basically, because I got the wind. See, that's where, but it's okay, she knows the town has to approve it. I explained that to her, she knows that, you know, and she knows.
I guess you
that-
can just tell her that it's going through the proper channels for approval.
Yeah, that.
Because
that
when,
will
I mean,
happen.
it's not, we're not denying her, we just,
Yep.
I mean, we don't make that decision. But it's going through the proper channels.
Yeah, I'll make it good with her, because I have a funny feeling she's going to be at the open house, you know.
Okay,
Okay.
I would like to talk to me, but, so, that's fine, okay. I understand completely. It's towns,
but I feel you're stuck in the middle too.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, it happened to me before, right? So don't worry about it.
Okay.
Jean, any
Very good.
comments? No?
Oh, just that, I mean, one way we can sort of present it is that the town wants they want a
Several
choice.
candidates to be
They-
able to
yeah, they
choose
want
from.
They
Sure.
want several candidates.
Right.
So that there's a
Yeah.
choice.
And that probably, yeah.
Which is true.
Which is true, right? I
Exactly
mean,
what
and
you are
like I said, I'm
doing.
not,
That's exactly what you're
right, I
doing,
would really
so-
like to see who else has an
Yeah.
interest out there and
Yeah,
make
no,
the
that's fine.
decision based on that. I mean, that's a perfect way to present it to her.
Yeah.
Do you feel comfortable then
Oh,
saying
yeah,
that,
no, I
saying that
can-
to her?
I guess it's because I didn't promise anything, I
Yeah.
just, you know, and she's the one, she said, why do you want me? So I tried to convince
Yeah.
her, but anyway, that's fine, okay.
Yeah,
it's
I
a-
mean, it is hard to find people in Grafton who are not affiliated with Tufts
Yeah.
and who are retired or have the time.
Have that time on
Yeah.
Friday, yeah.
So
Yeah, that
try
was
to
always
find
my
somebody who
issue, was
retired from
daytime,
UMass, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, because we have quite a few, and without realizing, I even asked one person, and she agreed, and then I had to take it back. I said, no, it can't be, so.
All right.
Okay.
All right, well,
Okay.
thank you
No
very much for
problem.
coming.
Thank you very much.
Thank
okay?
you, nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you.
Thanks for being
Hi,
here.
Karen.
Bye.
So I will send an email off to Jennifer Thomas and let her know that we did have this discussion and that we're going to continue to try to see if there's any other candidates out there.
Okay.
So then the Board of Selectmen will hopefully have several candidates to choose from.
Got it.
All right.
Do you have any
Sewage disposal system at 105 Fitzpatrick.
Alright, let's get Brian's, this was second review. It's like an existing 3-bedroom. Driveway, wells over here,
Systems out the back.
septic systems out the back.
Okay.
Existing tank to be cleaned, it's there. It's pretty straightforward.
Second review, and it meets Title V and town regs.
Yep. And he's got the signature, yeah.
Brian recommends we approve it.
Alrighty. Easy enough.
Nancy, I have one question. Is it 105 or 106?
It's 105.
Okay. All right, I have meeting minutes. Make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from June 13 as written.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Sign for Richard.
Motion to approve the minutes from August 8th as written.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Oh, this was Richard, from Richard.
This had to do with the legal notice that was sent from Grafton Board of Appeals for a petition for Mark Triano for 109 Creeper Hill, requesting that the ZBA grant a variance to allow, to reissue a previously approved variance, case number 798, 6/24/2015, for relief from the front 2 setbacks where 40 feet is required in the OLI district, looking for 17.32 feet on the right corner and 2.28 feet on the left corner. Public hearing will be this Thursday, 8:30 PM, conference room E. And so Richard had asked, can you make a note to the rest of the board that he would like the Board of Health to write a note or letter to support the variance for Mark Triano's project?
Richard would like that?
But with, I don't know if anything coming from us for a setback variance
Yeah.
like that, it's not the.
Aren't we,
it's
we're
not-
stepping into something that we don't
No,
really.
it's not ours.
It's a
Yeah.
setback. I wholeheartedly agree. I just don't, it would be us weighing into something that we don't really even have authority on.
No,
Nope.
or enough knowledge,
Right.
right?
Not tonight, I just
Yeah.
don't, I don't think, I think we're really kind of overstepping our
Yeah,
bounds
I
on
don't
that.
think it would
Yeah.
magically help. It's not like it's necessarily for saying we're all in favor of the new business or something.
Yeah.
It's more,
I'm actually in favor of it.
Yeah.
I just don't think that's the group that we should be,
no. Terra Environmental, or from Terra Environmental, notice of environmental response action for Grafton WWTP at 9 Depot Street. Submittal of release notification and immediate response action, completion statement availability, and a permanent solution statement ability. Sounds like Terra Environmental has prepared these documents, and being provided accordance with Mass DEP regulations to us and the town administrator. And a variety of few notices here. DEP extension request for something with the Fisherville Redevelopment Company for remedial action plan. Grafton Auto Service at 101 for a release notification for, presence of oil in the soil. No, I didn't mean to rhyme that. Yeah, for release of oil or other hazardous materials to the soil at 101. 2-methyl naphthalene, detected at higher level. And then for the water district, the Grafton Water District, permit application for construction of a new Trinity Ave pump station with a chemical addition of chlorine gas for disinfection and potassium hydroxide for pH adjustment. Be located at the end of Trinity Ave in Grafton. It just goes through permit conditions for it.
Okay.
I had just one question. Last month, we talked about the Grafton Dental Care, that, they were looking for the variance for the additional restrooms and shower.
That's right.
And remember, we had said we felt we didn't know enough about the state plumbing codes, and that's what made me think about when you said it's not up to us. I was wondering, did we know what,
I spoke with Tom French.
Yep.
He said it has nothing to do with us.
Okay,
He applied to the state, got what he needed.
okay.
perfect, okay,
Perfect.
very good, that's great, great follow-up, thank you.
I just wanted to circle back with the whole after-hours discussion about having a meeting with the Alliance and stuff. I'm gonna propose some times, because Karen Clark had said for me, her, and Tim to meet, but knowing what my next few weeks look like with work, it's impossible for me to do a meeting during the day. In the evenings, I have some availability. If it comes to the point where I can't do it, would someone else from the board be willing to have said meeting with them?
Sure, that would be great, Jay.
I'll definitely go. I will definitely go, you know, and not in a combative way. It's almost just, my message would be, and you tell me, I don't think it's changed, right?
No.
I don't think it's changed. Whoever wants to join, I will definitely go. I just didn't see the purpose, and I responded back, said, I don't really know what the discussion is. I really feel like we're rehashing something that we've already kind of mutually agreed upon and have
3 years
committed,
ago.
and committed to writing.
Yeah.
So why isn't
Ju-
it being done?
Well, exactly
Yeah.
right. And that was my, if we need to go over it again,
Yeah.
sure.
That's what I'm saying.
But
If
that's
we get
fine.
to that point.
If that's, glad to go to that. I just didn't see, so, but yeah, sure, I'll go, by all means. Just go let me know.
One other question, if we are having trouble finding a rep, IBC, community rep, should we ask the Board of Selectmen if they should appoint somebody temporarily? And if so, would any of us be available?
I would say that's a good point. Would we vote to, I know.
Well, I'm saying, you know,
so it's
I
not
could
consistent, just-
be, it's once a month on a Friday, I couldn't make
Maybe
my
take a month?
schedule, right, I could take a month and,
And that's it, do we
if you
take a
could
month?
take a
Yeah,
month, and
that's
I'm
what I was
just,
thinking too.
you know, I'm just wondering,
I know, it doesn't rotate this, now there's not consistency, and so you
No,
don't know what's
but-
happened, but we're there, I don't know.
Yeah.
right.
I'd be willing to take a month, sure.
Right, and I could do a Friday, you know,
Yeah.
with enough notice and stuff, and, right, so,
Right.
okay, I will
Well, let's
just-
see what we get on
right,
the
that's what-
18th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
mhm.
If we don't get anything, then maybe we're gonna have to come up with an interim plan. to carry
Right, because
us.
we're in violation of our own town bylaws. So,
That's beautiful. Okay.
all right. I have nothing else here,
Anyone?
nothing else, no?
Anyone?
No.
Going once? Going twice?
Yep. Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Sec- Yep.